Welcome to Sorcha and Lilac, the Island Knitter Podcast TV. I'm Claire, and here you'll find a cozy mix of knitting, music, and stories inspired by Orkney life.
A lovely viewer left me a comment the other day. She said she was also 65 and that as a child she sewed and knitted for dolls and later made clothes for herself and her children. She talked about making things because she needed to, earning money from knitting, giving it up for a while, and then coming back to it later in life. And one line really stayed with me. She said that now she was craving the bright colour combinations she used to be afraid of. And I thought, yes, that's it. That is exactly why colour matters, especially after 60. Because somewhere along the way, a lot of us get trained to tone ourselves down, not always in a dramatic way. Nobody necessarily sits us down and says, right, you're over 60 now. Here is your official beige cardigan and your sensible navy trousers. You start choosing the safe thing, the useful thing, the colour that goes with everything, the colour that doesn't draw attention, or the colour that won't make anyone say, ooh, that's bright. Now, I'm not against neutrals. I love a good cream, a soft grey, a deep navy. I have the navy trousers, a proper mossy green, but I don't want to disappear into them, and that's the difference, because bright colour isn't just about being loud. It can be about coming back. It can be about energy, also about remembering what you liked before you started asking whether it was suitable or not. And knitting is such a good way to play with that, because you don't have to walk straight into a shop and buy a neon pink coat. You can begin with a stripe, a cuff, a yoke, a little bit of contrast around a neckline, a colour you would never wear as a whole outfit, but suddenly looks wonderful next to something else. That's how colour creeps back in, one stitch at a time. For me, colour has become part of building a handmade wardrobe after 60. Not a perfect wardrobe, not a capsule wardrobe where everything behaves itself and stands in a row looking smug. A real handmade wardrobe, the sort where one top is practical, one is emotional, whatever that means. One needs the sleeve pulling back, one turns into 3 different ideas, and one is probably still waiting for me to write down what needle size I used, how many times. So I thought I'd talk about 5 of my favourite summer tops, because they all say something about colour, comfort, and making clothes for the life I actually have now. First is the Tresness Summer Tee. This one feels very island summer to me. Not Mediterranean summer where everyone is floating about in linen looking hydrated. No, but the Orkney summer, which means you might be wearing a summer top, but there's a strong chance you will still know where your cardigan is. Tresness is light, wearable, and it has that relaxed, handmade feeling I like. It's not trying too hard. It's the sort of top that says, I made this for real life, and that matters to me. Because after everything life does to us, work, health, family, appointments, bodies changing, confidence coming and going, I don't want clothes that make me feel as if I have to perform. I want clothes that let me be myself. The Tresness Summer Tee is part of the July membership, and it feels like a good starting point for that. Simple, useful, pretty, and very much part of my handmade wardrobe. Then there's the Evie Simple Yoke. Evie is important because it's a foundation. It's the sort of shape I can return to again and again, and I love that. Because once you have a shape that works, you can stop reinventing the whole wheel every time and start playing with the interesting bits, the colour, the texture, the yoke detail, sleeve length, neckline, edging. The Evie Simple Yoke is coming to the membership pattern club in August, and I think of it almost like a blank page. Not blank in a boring way, blank in a what should we turn this into way, because that's where confidence grows. When you realise that you don't have to follow every idea exactly as it is handed to you. You can understand the shape, then begin to make it yours. And colour is a part of that. Maybe you start with one main colour and a gentle contrast. Then maybe next time you add a stripe, then a brighter yoke. Then suddenly you are standing there thinking, actually, yes, I do need turquoise for raspberry together. This is how it starts. Very dangerous, very good. Now the third top is the Gansey Tee. Now this is where the Evie idea begins to grow a bit of Orkney backbone, because the Gansey Tee uses that simple shape but starts bringing in texture, stitch patterns, structure, that feeling of old working knitwear, sea life, practical clothes and pattern with meaning. I love Gansey ideas because they don't feel decorative for the sake of decoration. They feel rooted, they feel useful. And when you add colour to that, it becomes something really interesting. Gansey inspired tee doesn't have to be navy and serious, although I do love that too. I can have brightness, I can have softness. It can be practical and joyful at the same time. That is one of the things I'm learning now. Clothes can be useful and still have a bit of mischief in them. Then there's the Ribbed Yoke Tee. Again, this comes from that basic Evie family, but the yoke changes the whole feeling. That's what fascinates me about knitting design. A small change can alter the personality of a garment. A ribbed yoke can make it feel sportier, neater, more fitted, more structured. And depending on the colour, it can go very classic or very playful. This is where I think handmade clothes become so personal. You can take the same foundation and say, today I want soft. Today I want bright. Today I want calm. Today I want a neckline that doesn't annoy me. And today I want to feel like I've made an effort, but without anything digging in, pinching, clinging or arguing with me. Which finally brings me to Ragnahild. Ragnahild is probably the most personal of the 5 because it came from comfort. It came from wanting a summer top, a bralette style top that felt kind to wear after breast cancer. And that changed the design question completely. It wasn't just, can I make something pretty? It was, can I make something I can actually live in? Can I make something soft? Can I make something that feels safe? Can I make something that lets me enjoy clothes again without feeling like my body has to apologise for it? That's why Ragnahild matters to me. And I think colour matters here too. Because when your body has been through something, it's easy to dress as if you're trying not to be noticed. I understand that. There are days when comfort is everything, but comfort doesn't have to mean invisible. A soft top can still be mint, red, emerald, white, pink, teal, violet, or whatever colour makes you feel more alive when you put it on. That's what I want from my handmade wardrobe now. Kind clothes, colourful clothes, clothes that belong to the body I actually have. Not the body from a catalogue, not the body from 30 years ago, not the imaginary body that apparently wakes up one morning wanting to wear beige linen and do Pilates for breakfast. Oh, really? No, the real one, mine, now. And I think that is why the viewer's comment touched me so much, because she wasn't just talking about colour, she was talking about permission. The permission to make for herself again. The permission to use bright colours. The permission to be creative and vibrant now, not later when everything is perfect. Not when all the sensible jobs are done. Now. And maybe that's what bright knitting colours do after 60. They remind us that we are still allowed to want things, still allowed to play, allowed to be seen, to make something that is not purely practical.